Hey there, this is Amber Horsley, and I get the distinct privilege of getting to share with you how amazing God is. And in prior videos, I was able to share a little bit about our crazy and humbling story of our move from Houston to a completely different state, someplace where we knew not a soul, and we left all of our jobs, our connections, our foundation, and how clear we felt it was from God to move. And what was extremely humbling to me is that after we got here, another even bigger realization of why we moved, I was able to see. And unfortunately, it came pretty much right away. So when we moved, we had the privilege of having my parents come and help us to move, to watch the kiddos while we got a bunch of boxes unpacked and things loaded in and all those things. And we're very thankful for that. And during that time, my dad started having a little bit more acid reflux and some burning sensations, and especially when he was laying down. And he couldn't make heads or tails of it. And he'd been to a couple doctors, and especially after he went back home, went to several doctors, and I was just peptic ulcer, it was stomach acid issues or different things. And probably a couple weeks later after we moved in, he just sat himself down at urgent care. He was like, something is wrong. This is not normal. I know something's wrong with my body, and I am not leaving this urgent care until somebody does some further tests. And what an amazing and beautiful thing that he did. Because despite all the other doctors saying that nothing was wrong, my dad, after a scan, was found to have pancreatic cancer. And how crazy it is to me as well that his personality was one of the biggest things that led him to that too. My dad has been known for being abrasive and preachy and stubborn and all these things. And we always joke about it and laugh about it. But for me, what's so humbling here is that those personality traits of my dad were some of the biggest parts of what saved his life. Because pancreatic cancer, it's one of the worst cancers to get. I mean, no one wants cancer, period. But pancreatic is one of the worst, especially because it's silent. That's why it's so deadly most of the time, is people don't realize they have it until it's too late, and it's everywhere. So it was insane and crazy that my dad caught it as early as he did, because they were then able to do treatment. And now he is about a year and a half away from his initial diagnosis, and his pancreas is clear, which is insane. Praise be to God. He does have some other masses that have come up since then, and so he's still undergoing treatment in different areas. But what an amazing and humbling testimony of just those innate skills and those innate personality traits that God puts in each one of us. And for my dad, this one literally saved his life. And then for me, it was humbling realizing that, yes, we moved to a place where we didn't know any connections or a soul or anything, but we happened to move to one place where there were literally two of the best cancer centers in all of America, 3 hours away, in Chicago and over in Minnesota. What? Like, of all the places we could have moved, like the fact that we're that close to then these two cancer centers, and I'm not working in the classic sense, and so I can go to most of the appointments with my dad and be his advocate and kind of just be able to be that go-between for language barrier with medical terminology, things like that. Like, how amazing is that? So for me, it was already so clear why God called us to move up here. But then this, how amazing is God? And then I thought even more, what if we wouldn't have acted in obedience? What if we wouldn't have moved up here? I would have been down in Houston yet, like still working all this and feeling just hopeless and helpless to help my dad. And then we felt helpless in all these different things. Instead, we were up in a place where I was able to be much more help and be able to be a part of his care. And it was just amazing to see that other little nugget and that other part of this story, of God's story for our lives. It is beautiful when we walk in obedience with God. Not everything is that much rainbows and butterflies and is that clear. But when we walk in obedience with God, that is when we can see that